in LA this week.
Now I think there is going to be an awakening by many of those who have supported him in the past because their mail is getting interfered with.
We service the entire LGBTQ community, but in addition, we also welcome the entire community.
This is important for me because I grew up in the San Pedro Gardens. I'll never forget when my grandfather took me here.
Hello everyone, I'm Rasha Goel. Here's what's happening in LA this week. The United States general election is less than 3 months away. With COVID-19 still looming as a public health crisis, voters are expected to overwhelmingly cast their vote by mail. Not so coincidentally, the current administration has ramped up efforts to defund and delegitimize the United States Postal Service. But Congresswoman Maxine Waters and other California state officials are not leaving these attacks unanswered.
This is a very important statement about what is happening with our United States Post Office. Ladies and gentlemen, the Postal Service and its employees are a constitutionally authorized necessity, one which preserves our democracy and unites us as a nation. To this day, we rely on its continued operation to conduct fair elections in which every American voter has a chance to have his or her ballot counted and voice heard. Because of this history, it is unconscionable that this president would ignore what the United States Postal Service means to our lives by attacking the institution's legitimacy while attempting to dismantle the agency in order to rig the election and stop vote by mail. I am absolutely certain that the American people do not like what is going on, and they had no expectation that the President of the United States will try to destroy the United States Post Office simply because he believes that if we have mail-in balloting, he will not win re-election.
People are suffering, and it's not just them, it's small business owners who have come forward and have talked about the impact that it's having on them. This is not a Republican or Democratic issue. The mail issue affects everybody across the country. Our colleagues, no matter where you represent, no matter what letter is next to your name, that you're going to step up and help ensure the Postal Service has what it needs to continue to deliver mail and not make this a partisan issue.
Back in May of this year, 12 Los Angeles firefighters were injured battling a blaze in the downtown Los Angeles Toy District, a fire that has since been named the Boyd Fire. Recently, a few of these firefighters were reunited with doctors and nurses from the Grossman Burn Center at West Hills Hospital who aided in their recoveries.
Units responding to destruction fire 327 East Boyd, truck 9 on scene reports one-story commercial, moderate smoke from the office.
Respond to a fire in downtown on Boyd Street. We went into it just like any other fire. Very quickly, after a few minutes, kind of escalated and kind of turned into that explosion fireball that you see on the videos. And from then on, it was just kind of survival mode.
All companies off, out of the building. All companies have a main situation.
One of the worst things that you hear at an incident is the call for Mayday, but it occurred on that day.
I got that phone call. And it's a phone call you never want to get when you're told that there's a big fire downtown and 11 firefighters have been burned and we don't know how bad.
The Grossman Burn Center is a globally recognized burn center, and I knew that by being sent here that they were going to receive the absolute best care.
We thank you for the privilege of letting us take care of you.
when you're at the Grossman Burn Center and Dr. Grossman's your doctor, I mean, it feels like you're in pretty good hands.
It's always nice to know that you're going to get the support you need if something happens. So absolutely, you get burned and you see the kind of care that they received here. It gives you the confidence that if the next time something tragic happens, you're not off on your own.
To know that there are medical professionals who make sure that after something as vicious as that fire that we saw that night, that people can still touch and feel and hold their loved ones. And that's miraculous.
It's the first burn center that I've worked with that really focuses not just on the physical healing, but the cosmetic, the emotional, and mental as well.
You are all men of courage. People who have courage will go into a situation with fear, but still follow through. And what you guys do every single day is beyond heroic.
We use the words heroes, heroic. You guys are here for a bigger calling. And I look forward to seeing what that's going to be.
And I just want to say to your families, because I understand how difficult it all is, that you have a city that will stand by your side long after those physical wounds have healed.
Overall, just to thank everyone for everything they did for me.
This is not just about physical healing, but these moments stay with you. And long after the cameras are gone, long after the speeches are over, we know that you hold that each night. So you let us know, and don't be afraid to talk to your fellow firefighters about those moments and to reach out for help, because we are here for you. So God bless the Los Angeles Fire Department. God bless this incredible burn center for saving your lives.
These days, you don't have to look very far to find a grab-and-go event where you can get free groceries and supplies for your family. And community gardens have been a valued contributor in keeping those events supplied with fresh produce. Councilmember Joe Buscaino was on hand to give us a guided tour of the fruitful community gardens in San Pedro. Take a look.
This is my Uncle Sal.
Your real Uncle Sal.
My real. There's always, every Italian family has an Uncle Sal. This is true. And then Cousin Johnny here. We heard loud and clear from a number of the gardeners here at the San Pedro Community Garden that it was very hard to access water. What the sanitation did was fund the program to install the piping that's needed to get to each specific plot. And without water, we're nothing here, especially when it comes to gardening. Tell us what you got here.
What I got here is some eggplants, my grapes.
You got peppers, bell peppers. Look at that. This is important for me because I grew up in the San Pedro Gardens. I'll never forget when my grandfather took me here, and he was able to share his fruits of labor, literally, and to see vegetables and fruits get from farm to table. In addition, my uncle and my father and our cousins and a lot of the seniors here have a place to go, and this is great physical therapy for them, and they are so proud of their fruits of labor here.
These gardens began in the mid-70s, food rescue, food recovery, and food security as part of our mission. An environmental justice issue, a environmental protection mission, the profound meaning that they have for the community of San Pedro, which someone like Joe has lived, is hugely important.
My Uncle Sal just handed him some bell peppers and also some eggplants. He's got grapes for everyone. That's the beauty of our community garden program. A lot of our residents and gardeners, they share their fruits of labor with others, which is beautiful. When people are struggling, when they are struggling financially, they can take advantage of these community gardens to put food on their table.
So this is one talent I wish I had. The art of creating stained glass is a craft that has endured for hundreds of years. For the Los Angeles-based Judson Studios, it is a family business that spans across generations. David Judson, president of Judson Studios, and librarian Anna Campos talk about the unique symbiotic relationship between the LA Public Libraries and the renowned stained glass studio.
Judson Studios program that we're going to have, it's going to be a presentation of this wonderful book. And the author, David Judson, is going to be streamed live at the library Facebook page and YouTube page.
The chandelier at the LA Public Library is one of my favorite pieces in Los Angeles. It was, we believe, 1925 it was made. And Judson was commissioned to do the actual glass piece, which is a globe. And the globe itself is 9 feet in diameter. And then around the glass globe are the symbols of the zodiac. And so it's just a really amazing piece that, I actually didn't know that Judson had made until I wrote my book recently. And so it was, a very pleasant surprise for me to find that information out.
2 of our locations have some of their work. Memorial Branch has one.
There's also a great installation over at the Memorial Library, and it was recognizing the students from LA High School for the soldiers that had fallen in World War I that had graduated from the high school. And so that's kind of an interesting, really beautiful window, and also kind of like a real meaningful space for the library as well.
I think art is healing. I think it gives us a perspective that the history is still present.
If you want to know more about Judson, you can go to our website. It's judsonstudios.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
To learn more about our wonderful events, please visit our website at lapl.org.
Submissions are open for LA doll makers. Relaxed parking gets yet another extension, and the LA Public Library honors a trailblazer. These stories up next on City Beat.
LA's first female city librarian, Mary Foy, had her legacy enshrined permanently with a plaque in the Los Angeles Central Library's rotunda. Mary Foy, librarian, educator, suffragist, was presented on Facebook and YouTube on the library accounts this week. The presentation marked the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment, which finally gave women the right to vote across the U.S. Foy was appointed to the position of city librarian in 1880 at the age of 18. Mayor Eric Garcetti has extended relaxed parking enforcement in the city of LA through the 1st of October. Angelenos will not be given parking fine increases if they fail to pay a ticket during this time frame. The modifications to parking regulations were first implemented in mid-March and have been extended multiple times during the pandemic as residents were urged to stay safer at home. Enforcement will still be issued for blocking emergency areas, temporary no parking zones, metered parking, colored curb zones, and restrictions in city-owned lots. For the complete list, visit ladot.lacity.org. The William Grant Still Art Center has opened up submissions for the 2020 Black Doll Show, entitled All Dolled Up. This year will be a retrospective that reflects 40 years of black dolls, showcased at WGSAC. The Black Doll Show was created by Cecil Ferguson in the 1980s as a celebration and representation of the Black experience. Be sure to submit your doll by November 2nd in order to be considered for the online exhibit, opening December. For more information, visit wgsac.wordpress.com.
The COVID-19 pandemic is still affecting communities of color harder than others in Los Angeles. My COVID MD was among the first to bring testing to these communities, and they'll keep coming back as long as they are needed.
Today here at Creed Academy on Crenshaw and 60th, we are hosting our third antibody COVID-19 testing. So we've been doing this in partnership with Shared Harvest, an AMPR group. We have partnered with several churches and schools, this being our third one, and we're excited about it.
New Balance donated 400 pairs of shoes, and Jaden Smith donated his Just Water, about 50 cases of water to hand out.
My COVID MD started on March 8th. We were the first out there in communities of color to get education around testing. We offer rapid antibody testing, but we also offer food distribution. We give out produce, we give out shoes. Not every test is made the same, whether it's swab testing or antibody testing. What we offer is the ability to check for the early antibody and the late antibody that tells us a sense of where the COVID is existing and how the impact of the individual's immune system is to COVID.
In this experience, I have learned so much about the antibody test. I've learned so much more about it. I feel more educated so that when I listen to the news, I can make some of my own decisions about it and what's right for myself, for my family.
We do everything for the community because we understand it's more than about testing. It's about building relationships, breaking down the walls, and building trust.
With the troubled economy and unemployment at an all-time high, you might think this is the worst time to start a new business. But the LGBT Center in Hollywood sees opening their new Liberation Coffee House as a way of supporting their community. Here's their story.
So we're really excited to open Liberation Coffee House, which is actually a social enterprise. All of the profits that are raised from our funds go back to the life-saving programs here at the Los Angeles LGBT Center.
We've been donors to the LGBT Center for 10 plus years, and we've learned about the program where the youth are trained in the culinary arts. And so we've been excited that this is finally opening, and since it just opened, we wanted to lend our support today.
So all of the graduates that you see behind you from our program, both our youth and our seniors, have finished our 300-hour culinary job training program, and now they're working here in Liberation Coffee House.
I just think it's wonderful. I need to get coffee anyways, but the fact that it's going to such a wonderful place, cause, organization, I think it makes everything even more delicious.
Los Angeles LGBT Center is the world's largest nonprofit focused to helping LGBT people. There was a big discussion about whether or not we should open, and what we felt was really important is that we're providing nutritious, affordable meals to the community, and we thought even during a pandemic, people still need to eat, and so we're hoping that this can shine a bright light on people as we're going through this.
And a friend of mine told me about it, so I just found out about it yesterday. So I thought I'd come down and help the center out.
Places like this help the people that need help most in the community. And if we all work together, if my coffee money goes to help people that are in serious need, then that kind of all goes hand in hand, and it becomes even more of a community.
It's just a wonderful extension of the community. We live in the neighborhood. It's nice to be able to have a neighborhood coffee shop that reflects back to the community.
When the center originally opened, over 50 years ago now, as a lot of members started coming to the center, there was a realization that people didn't have anywhere to live. So the center opened what were called liberation houses, which is where for about $1.25 a night, members could have a place to sleep. And so when we were pulling images for our 50th anniversary, we found the wonderful photo behind you that marks the Liberation House. And so when we opened the coffee shop, what a better way to celebrate liberation for a new generation.
It truly is a time of compassion. As we mentioned earlier, Angelinos continue to open their hearts and their wallets to help fellow residents through this tough economic time. The nonprofit Big Sunday has restructured its annual back-to-school event to comply with social distancing, and the Arroyo Seco Neighborhood Council joins Team Cedillo in Council District 1 to hand out free meals to its community.
Well, this is Big Sunday. We are filling up backpacks for kids going back to school.
We're a community building organization. We connect people through helping. And what we're doing today is every year we have our annual back to school drive, filling backpacks for kids going back to school. And we usually have hundreds of people here, and it's on a weeknight, and we all have dinner together. Obviously, we can't do that this year. So what we've done this week is we've broken it into 12 different small sessions of people filling backpacks.
So I'm here today to pick up backpacks for our school-age children that are turning to school remotely next week. It's actually essential that the kids also have the backpacks that helps with their mental health and still inspiring them to learn, even though they will be starting learning from home.
Kids need the structure of knowing that they have the supplies they need, and also that folks care about them to want to put the bags together. We see the world not as haves and have-nots. We see the world as haves and have-mores. Everyone has some way that they can help somebody else. So we have homeless people who help us as volunteers. We have CEOs and movie stars, and everyone's treated and valued the same.
They help people help other people, and they're just great. They help many other organizations. There's always a project.
We've been busier than ever, from everything from phone trees calling people to providing meals for frontline workers at hospitals. We started a program called Foot the Bill, where we're helping people pay their bills, and gas, electric, rent, credit card, and people have gotten in touch with us. They can look it up online at bigsunday.org. We're here all the time trying to bring people together, showing that we're all in this together. Everyone's saying that now. We've been saying it for years. You can see it on the front of our building, and we mean it and we live it.
Many workers in the fast food industry are facing a tough decision. Just like all workers in the service industry, still being employed can also mean working in an environment where not everyone feels safe or protected from the coronavirus. Recently, the organization The Fight for 15 were instrumental in helping a handful of such workers get their concerns heard.
My name is Maishika Rankia, and I'm a Carl's Jr. worker and a leader in the Fight for 15 and a union. My family is a family of essential workers, including my sister, a nurse, who has also been on the front lines treating patients. Recently, my sister tested positive for COVID-19, and so did her 5-year-old daughter. I told my boss at Carl's Jr. that I needed to quarantine until I got my test results. They had the nerve to tell me I should come in if I wasn't experiencing symptoms. This is a problem. Not just in my store, but across the fast food industry in Los Angeles County.
Quiero agregar que estamos aquí, creemos en los derechos de los inmigrantes y los trabajadores, por eso estamos apoyando el sindicato y esta pelea para luchar, para ganar los $15 la hora para todos los trabajadores y un sindicato para ellos también.
Before, we were just burger flippers who should get a better job, go to college, but now we're the ones out there risking and keeping, this economy flowing, and we're still getting paid the same poverty wages.
Everybody has the right to protect themselves, and everybody has the right to protect their family. Provide us with masks and gloves and not make us pay for them. Make sure that they're able to quarantine with their family just in case they get sick, so that they don't infect everybody else. Protect us every day at work, and just make sure that we're not taking anything home to our family. You're not alone, like we're all in this together.
All right, let's confess. How many of you miss going to the movies as much as I do? Well, good news. Recently, there has been a rash of clever entrepreneurs who are taking the movies old school. If you're on the West Side, you cannot beat the cuisine and creative thinking of Ayara Thai.
So this is day 3 of our Thai drive-in movie series. We're showing Thai movies in our parking lot, paired with chef-curated snacks and food.
We wanted to have an activity for people to still be able to enjoy going outside and still think of Thailand, because we're the National Tourism Board and people obviously aren't traveling to Thailand right now. And the response has actually been really great, especially being foreign films. The concept is would someone want to come out and watch a Thai movie?
I love this restaurant. Ayara is one of my favorite Thai places here in Los Angeles. And I think kind of like dinner and a movie is a great idea.
And saying we want this to be a fun but really safe activity for everyone. Everyone remains in their cars and they pull in, check in, get their snack kit, and get to their spot on the parking lot. Once they're on their lot, they will get served their food, and they are given a phone number to text and add on any food throughout the movie. And we have runners to run it to their cars.
It's great that they're doing it all in the car, and it's completely social distanced, and it's a great way to kind of get people together. So this is great. They're doing a really good job.
I think the community, Los Angelinos, are craving experiences that we used to have, but just adjusted for the new norm.
Well, I think this is the new reality that we're living in, right? I mean, given the current restrictions, I think it's an excellent idea. It's a way to bring people in a safe environment. They feel comfortable. They don't have to, be in close contact, I guess.
I believe that people feel safe enough to come out and enjoy themselves.
I feel like drive-in is kind of like the safest thing that you could do, being contained in your own car. Everyone's wearing face masks, and it's a great way to support a local business.
We're also here to support the Thai elephants in Thailand because they've been obviously hit very hard by tourism and the lack of tourism in Thailand, and so this is going to aid them. Proceeds from the ticket sales will go to the Thai Elephant Association.
Los Angeles has the biggest community of Thais outside of Thailand. And we would love to bring something that brings the community together, but also something that will showcase more of our culture within Los Angeles.
We really just want to have a great time. It's really nice to be able to see people come out even during this time. And there's a sense of excitement. I think like everyone is just really eager to experience something new.
That looks like so much fun. Drive-ins are making a comeback in a big way, and I'm not complaining. We'll be bringing you news of more movie events in the coming weeks. Check out Keep Your Distance, a socially distanced comedy show. The Leimert Park Jazz Festival goes online, and the Griffith Park Free Shakespeare Festival presents a living room edition. Can't wait for that one. All this next on Virtual Things to Do.
Check out Keep Your Distance, a live one-night-only online comedy show experience featuring Kev on Stage. Other featured comedians include Tony Baker, comedian CP, Precious Hall, T. Murph, Ryan Davis, and Big Irish J. Join the party live as comedian Kev on Stage hosts his hilarious friends in their virtual return to the stage for this socially distanced stand-up comedy event. Keep Your Distance is set to roll out Friday, August 28th, beginning at 7 p.m. For more details and ticket information, visit their listing on Eventbrite. The Leimert Jazz Festival celebrates jazz, community, and the cultural heritage of Leimert Park. What began as a block party known as the Sutro Avenue Summer Soiree, this summer event has blossomed into a full-blown music festival. Enjoy artists like Dwight Tribble and Munyungo Jackson's Jungle Jazz Quartet. The event is free, diverse, and family-friendly. Meet up with community on Facebook Live, Saturday, August 29th at 12 noon for the enormous summer event that COVID can't stop. RSVP now for the chance to win official festival merchandise. Don't miss Leimert Park Jazz Festival. To learn more, visit LeimertJazzFestival.com. Independent Shakespeare Company presents Griffith Park Free Shakespeare Festival Living Room Edition. Events will be happening all through August. The festival culminates in September with an all-new hybrid production of Romeo and Juliet, using movie making, animation, social media, and the beloved ISC stage in Atwater. Front and center of this new production is the Shakespearean acting of the ISC Ensemble. All events are online, free, and open to all. Register to attend each event and receive information about how to access the programming online. Special community building add-ons and interactive elements. Don't miss the ISC production of Romeo and Juliet, brought to you by the Griffith Park Free Shakespeare Festival, Living Room Edition. Learn more by visiting iscla.org/summer-festival. And that's a look at some virtual things to do.
That's it for this edition. I'm Rasha Goel. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us, and a reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.